This is Caravan Salon 2019. This is an Innova road trip. It is a prototype model. It takes the number 595 from the length of the Mercedes Sprinter, but it's a bit bigger than most Mercedes Sprinters because it's got this slide out at the back here, which comes from the company Horex, and that's the stand we're on right at the present time. It has got also a slide out kitchen, which is up there. It's got a queen bed, and it's got a way of walking around the queen bed. Now, when they told me about this in the Netherlands in February of this year, 2019, I said that's never going to work, and so it does seem to work. Let's have a look at it. Well, let's go at the back to start off with. This is the sort of the exciting bit on this van. Right, so you've got the bed here. Now, you might say that the bed doesn't look particularly long, but unless you're really high, it's probably sufficient. You'd probably stick your feet down there, because it might be a bit claustrophobic for your head. But the walk around bit here, you might say, well, that's not really necessary, but let's just walk around it right now. I'll try and walk around with my camera. You really need two people doing things like this. You see, if you wanted to get into bed without disturbing the other person you're with, then you can sort of do it. But that shows how in a small vehicle like this one, you can get a lot more space, and that is quite significant because in the Mercedes Sprinter there really isn't a lot of space. At this height you've got around 165 centimeters from one side to the other. You may think, oh well, okay, well, we don't really need that walk around space, and yes, I'm sure they would take that on board, and you could have your bed built here. Now, Innova's a smallish company, so they will build to order whatever you want on this type of vehicle. So we have here one of the windows from Horex. Blackout, Moschitiera, or open as it is at present. Now, up front, obviously it's a Mercedes like this, you're probably only two of you travelling, and so there's only 3 seats, which is pretty sensible. Now here, what you can do is you can make a recliner in the bed up here, and then you can recline back and watch the television up there. Above the bed you've got this great skylight there. Okay, a couple of steps up. Alright, so this is under construction. Well, I suppose you could have this as a wardrobe if you didn't want it as a toilet. I suggest you use it as a toilet in the washroom myself. Obviously that's got to be built. Now, one thing actually filmed in the Netherlands was they had this rotating seat here, which is one possibility. I think this is probably just as well. This seat will actually also recline, you can see from there. Again, bear in mind it's only 595 centimeters long. Now, what they've changed from what they normally do is that the washroom is much bigger, and there's only 2 seats up front, and that's where the extra space has gone. There's also the table is much smaller at the front, but there's a bigger table which goes at the back, which isn't really possible in this layout. Kitchen there looks like stone. It's not, it's a very lightweight material. It's only 3mm thick, but it looks as though it's a big slab of stone from the quarry, so it looks quite good, I think. As it's a Mercedes, you've got plenty of space above the drivers and passengers positions. Oh, and of course you've got the Mosquitiera as well here. Mosquito net. There you go. Also keeps out other insects other than mosquitoes. And that is also a product from Horex. Right, so that's a quick look at this new Mercedes. Oh, I'll show you another slider whilst I'm here to make the point. You know, the one in that vehicle is electric, but you also have one such as here. This is sort of the base form, what it looks before you sort of build around it. And this one here is manual, and I think many people are worried by the use of electric slide outs. Now there is a way to actually get to go back manually should the electric power fail or the motor fail or something like that. But with something like this, it's a case of just winding it backwards and forwards, which may be suitable. Now another thing actually, which is a problem, is many people often think about beds. You've got these drop-down beds and vans, and there are ways you can override the electric system. Alternatively, just go for a manual bed. To be quite honest, I think I personally will prefer manual anyway. I mean, there are times we've all run out of electricity, so the battery's gone down to 11 volts. So you could have something like that. So this is first weekend at Caravan Salon, and yesterday there was a lot of people here, first day. The event has been put on later this year, a week later, so it's like really the last week of end of August and the first week of September, rather than being the last week of August. So I personally think this is a far better time for this event. Others may think differently. Right, so from out here, going back to this van, we can see where the extension is, the slide out is, see how much space it takes up. Well, maybe if you were sort of in the street and doing some urban camping, you wouldn't want it out. But on a campsite, it shouldn't really bother anyone. Final point I want to actually demonstrate is out here, but there's people there, so I'll just have to talk about it for the moment. But there's a pull-out kitchen at the back. Now you saw that they've got a kitchen inside with a fridge, and should you want to do some outdoor cooking, so you've got the cooker here, there's another fridge, and I can't demonstrate this right now, but because I've only got two arms and two hands, but these both will come out and you can take them down to the beach should you so require. Of course you might say, what's the point of that? I don't need that. I've got a kitchen up front, and of course that would also be a good argument. And here, of course, this is electric. Right, so I hope that was of interest. And a lot more stuff from Road Trip on my site, my YouTube site, so you can find it there should you be so interested, including my visit to their factory in February 2019.
Der Schwiegervater, der hat in seinem Wohnmobil nochmal so ein Luftrad genau zugehabt, als der dann